Hey everybody, welcome to Ahava Moments with You.
We are here. We're in Rock Hill. This is tape number 2 of our Israel trip. We wanted to share some of the highlights that we had.
Yeah.
Go ahead, David.
I think one of the things that was a little strange this time compared to one of our other trips is that
this is our third trip, right?
Yeah, this is our third trip together, and so but the Jaffa Street train wasn't running on time.
Yeah, we happened to have a 10 o'clock appointment one day, Christian Friends of Israel, and it was getting close to that time of day, so we went out to the tracks. Actually, it's not. Yeah, it is on a track. What am I thinking? We were staying at the Lev Yerushalayim on King George and Ben Yehuda Street. My wife had stayed there, so I felt that was a good lodging.
Well, one thing about it didn't have the rock and roll the other place had.
Let's tell that story, David. Let's tell that story. Go ahead.
So Steve,
you booked that, right?
Yes, I did.
David booked it.
Steve sent me a link, and so he says, "What about this place?" And,
okay,
and it looked okay. I mean, well, we agreed on it, right? You know, so it wasn't like it was just one of us.
Yeah,
we agreed.
$70 a night.
So it was really cheap. You know, which we're always trying to save money when we go, right? And
we don't care where we sleep. I sent a video to my kids, and I said, I don't care where I sleep when I get to Israel. I just want to be there.
Yeah. Well, anyways, we get there, and what the gentleman that rented it to us neglected to tell us is that it was above three taverns. And so the first night it was boompa 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 until 11:45.
Close to midnight, because I was looking at my watch. Maybe they'll end at midnight, and it did. And so the next day we were hopeful. When midnight came, we thought, okay, they're going to shut it down. We can get some sleep.
No, that's not the way it happened.
1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock,
3:30 a.m.
And what did you do?
What did I do? I made a phone call in the morning and said we ain't staying here another night.
Yeah, and he didn't offer to give us our money back either.
So yeah, but I think it's gonna all work out in the end. You know, there's always ways to work through those troubles. So
but it's actually a nice part of town.
Yeah, it's right off of Jaffa Street. But
we normally stay at the Abraham Hostel,
right,
on Jaffa and up there near the Claw building where King of Kings is, but they shut down. Right. Basically, they did have some residents, but I think they were refugee residents.
Actually, what I heard is that the hostel that I stayed at, the Post Hostel, actually purchased the building.
Oh, they did.
And
that building?
Yeah, that building, the Abraham building, and they have refugees in there right now.
Oh, they do.
So yeah, so people that are either from the north or wherever they're living in the house. And I even think I seen some Ukrainian flags flying off the balcony there. Yeah, so it may be some people that made Aliyah from the Ukraine. So
when we were there a couple of years ago, we stayed actually in May of 2023. We had a group of 9 of us, our wives and others that have joined us. We were told that they were looking to find another location for the hostel. We just enjoy it. It's cheap, a good meal.
It's good food, and you know, the people were spectacular. The service was wonderful, and you know so you kind of, if you get used to doing it a few times. I've been staying there since 2018, and so
I just thought of something. I'll tell you later.
Spoiled, so yeah, you know.
Remember the time? It would have been our second trip together.
Yeah.
I had booked the room. And I specifically said it's 2 guys. You know, we're married, but not to each other. And I asked for 2 single beds. We walk in there, 1 bed,
and they're full up.
And we look at each other. I said, "Okay, where's the plywood that we can put between us?" But we managed. We managed. What I did find out on that trip, David likes to talk. I'm used to go to bed. I sleep. David likes to talk.
Only when I can't sleep. I couldn't go to sleep. My brain was, you know, you ever get those nights when you just can't shut your brain off? That was one of those nights.
It's usually every night. A couple hours. Anyway, let's get back to the last trip we had together. Yep. So you stayed at the Post, right?
I stayed at the Post Hostel, yes.
We won't go further into that one. Let's get back to something really nice. I am thinking about, we were going to go to this 10 o'clock appointment.
Right.
You say Trump goes off on different levels, but he always comes back. So we're going to come back. 10 o'clock, I had an appointment at Christian Friends of Israel. And David was coming along just to meet the new directors, Tristan and Guyla Hall. But the train wasn't running at that time.
Right. They came back. They
And
came
we
with a
weren't
little
sure
bus,
what
so they came by and
bus. We
said,
weren't sure what bus to get on to get there.
Yep.
So we asked around, and eventually somebody told us, yeah, you get on this one, it'll take you close to the, well, actually to the central station on Jaffa Street, and then we could proceed from there. We got there in time.
Yep.
We had a great tour of the building by one of the staff members. She was from HR,
Right.
South Africa.
Right.
She'd been there, what, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
She taught me more than I had ever heard in my 14 years on the board,
Right,
the CFI-USA board. I was amazed.
Yeah.
Keep her. She's a keeper.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then we met Galia.
yeah, we met Galia, who is from South Africa.
South Africa, who
So,
your
my wife
is
is
from.
South Africa.
And then
so-
we asked somebody else, where are you from? A volunteer.
Yeah, this is South Africa. And then there was one from Canada.
And then we asked another one, well, where are you from? South Africa.
South Africa.
So we didn't even bother asking the next one. We just said, you're from South Africa, right? They said, how'd you know?
Yeah. So,
But they're good people.
Yeah, there's more. I think there's more South Africans in Jerusalem than there is in Johannesburg,
Yeah.
maybe.
That's great.
It's cute, you know. Then I went after that. I went to this place. I've been looking to buy some cucumber seeds.
Right.
And I went there, and
We
the
went to
lady
Morgan.
that was there was South African.
So God
yeah.
bless South
Yeah,
Africa.
yeah, bless South Africa, especially what's going on there. So
Yeah, and we had a good hour. I was surprised. So
Yeah.
when we finished the tour, that was 4 videos. You can see that on the YouTube channel, same station here. Galia came in.
Yep.
We had never met her.
Yep.
She had a little son with her. She called it her surprise, because after having 3 girls, this one came along 8 years later.
Mm-hmm.
It was Hosea. He slept most of the time.
Yep.
But
Yep.
she spent an hour just talking with us as if we were
Yeah.
dear old friends,
Yep.
which
Yep.
from now on we are.
Yeah, and one of the things that you didn't know is later on when I was suffering from my stomach problems, I went to I had to go to the pharmacy, and I met the lady that gave us the interview
Oh, really?
on the street. Yeah,
Ah.
so I run into her, and she had another lady with her. They were out trying to get the other lady a driver's license.
Okay.
So yeah, so
Excuse me if I'm trying to bad
interesting.
off the
There's a few
gnats here.
gnats here, yeah.
So that was a good thing. That was my last day.
Right,
I
right.
left that night.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, that time that we spoke to or sat down with David and Abraham and Danny Boy, we had time with him. These are shop owners on Ben Yehuda Street, Jerusalem. Uri. Every time I go to Uri's shop, I always buy hoodies, even if it's 90 degrees out. And he says, well, I know you don't need these.
Yep.
I said, no, but I'm here to support you, so I'll buy whatever I can. I'll give them away when I get home.
Yeah.
But David and Abraham, I think there's going to be a longer term with David. Abraham's 84 years old,
Right,
so
right.
his time is coming to an end.
Yeah.
But David has been opening up, and I've known him 15 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's always been a quiet guy.
Yes, he is. He is a quiet guy, but he is, you know, when this is the thing when you go to Israel, and a lot of people don't have the option when they do a tour, is to meet people and be with the people.
No, they're on and off the
talk
bus.
to them, and you know. I can't tell you how many hours we between what you were there when you were there, and then after I went down to spend time and sit with them and talk, and you know, and you know, it's relational. The Jewish people as a whole really don't trust Christians very much.
Well, I can understand why.
You know?
With the history that we've killed them in the name of Jesus.
Yeah, yeah. And so it takes time, and sometimes it's just loving on them and talking to them and just being with them.
Yes.
And you know, and one of the things that we always, whenever we're there, we try to bless them, but also they come and they give us drinks, and they gotta
Always.
feed us, and
Always.
it's just, you know, and that. I think though, you know, that's part of the relation thing is there for them. Being Jewish, it's their tradition. It's you know, it's a mitzvah to take care of people, and that's what they do. But it's not like everybody in the whole country is like that. So these relationships are really precious and dear.
And they know I'm a Gentile. I look like one. Now David, he's still trying to decide if he's a Jew or not.
Well, I believe in Messiah. So and I don't really practice Judaism.
He looks like a nice, cuddly rabbi, don't you think?
But they do that. They don't. I don't get approached anymore. If I'm in my Keepa and I have my Talid on, they just kind of, it's like I'm just there. Yeah. So it's not. When I first went in 2018, then a little bit in 2022, I had people kind of, well, are you Jewish? Are you Jewish? But they were really kind of, like I said, this trip has been different. They weren't as open, last time. But this, they really kind of look at you and like, well, and if you got a Tallit and a Keepa on, you're kind of, your seats are hanging down. It's like they may look at you a little odd, but they don't say much,
Sure,
so yeah. Whereas, years before, I would be, especially the gentleman trying to put the Tefillin on, they would really approach me, and even at the wall I was yelled at, are you Jewish? Are you Jewish? And it's like, truthfully I don't know. Could be, but I've never had the genetic test, or I've never found anything in my family tree that denotes that. So.
Another one I want to talk about is Nuri.
Yes.
He's been our taxi driver for many years, but now because of the lack of visitors, tourists, he's back working in a supermarket 6 days a week. He said 12 hours a day just to make ends meet. He always takes time off. He borrows cars to get to us. He borrowed one vehicle and took us back up on the Mount of Olives. That interview is on the YouTube channel. And then he took us to his cousin's shop, gift shop, Judaica on Mount of Olives. Their last name is Ahava, H-A-A-A.
Yep.
And he had to go get his cousin to open the door to let us into the shop because there was nobody around. There was no tourists.
Right.
And he brought us hummus and Cokes. And I asked his cousin, how much inventory you got here? Because it looked like a lot. When you got these olive woods, I've been there several times, but I'd always kind of tried to see the pricing on the bottom. But he said he has $1 million worth of inventory, US dollars. And if they don't get tourists coming, he's going to lose it. Right. Some of these guys have had their shops for 35 years.
Yes. And some of them are empty. The shops, there are a lot of empty shops comparatively up and down the street. But there's also a lot of building going on there, isn't there?
Yeah.
But that's another video.
National Road.
So
we'll keep you anticipating that one.
Yep. So, but it's definitely a time and a season where it's not like it was in our prior trips, but it's good to just get in the land and be with the people. And one of the things that you didn't share about, Steve, was our Druze friends that we made trying to find a cup of coffee.
You want to do another video?
Well, we can.
We will. Stay tuned. Shalom.
Shalom.